We tested over 50 AI tools and invested tens of thousands of dollars integrating AI into our Amazon business. And most of it, unfortunately, underdelivered. But these 4 areas, we're actually able to double productivity. My name is Jassim Isa. I'm the CEO and founder of Voadera. We sold hundreds of millions of dollars on online marketplaces, specifically Amazon. In this video, I'll show you where AI was really helpful and the specific tools that moved the needle. Where AI was somewhat helpful, we had to kind of complement it. And the last one was where AI was a complete waste of time and money, and actually a surprising bonus at the end that many people forgot about. Where AI was a game changer. The first one is definitely, without a doubt, copywriting. AI has been a game changer for copywriting. It just makes you so much faster. It makes sure that obviously your grammar is on point, you're spelling all the basics, but also gives you ideas for stuff that you missed. You have to make sure you're loading it with the right context and enough context about your product, but especially for not as relevant parts. So when you think about bullet points, primarily bullet points, we don't like to use that on the title. We have a specific framework that we use. You want to make sure that the title is as crisp as possible. You really don't need support, but with bullet points, filling in the background text, etc., it's been really helpful. ChatGPT has been the main one here. You can open up folders, you can add in context for certain products, files, etc. We tried using Claude. It's not as bad, but we found that ChatGPT was more lively and more social able, where Claude is more kind of on the back, and I'll get into use for Claude we had in a little bit actually. But especially nowadays with customers using Rufus to ask questions about the listing, AI kind of gives you a second mind to make sure that you included all the context of the listing, included everything about that. That's where you add this spec sheet, your customer avatar in the files, etc., to load it with that context to make sure everything's covered. So when the A9 algorithm, Cosmos, or a customer asks Rufus a question, you make sure that it's covered within your listing, and whether it's, or actually, and not just the bullet points, that's just one example, but also text for your creatives and your images and your premium A+ content, etc., to make sure it's one way or another. Another example, copywriting, is even the questions and answers and all that kind of stuff. So anything to do with writing, support, and all that kind of stuff, even formatting a ticket to Seller Central, right? It doesn't have to just be for the listing, but that's the primary use case. And actually for SEO, I'll attach a video in the description and I'll add it to the end, about how to perfect SEO now, the age of AI and Rufus and Cosmos. A lot of things have changed. I'll make sure to watch that at the end. The second area is creative. And this has been insanely, this is actually much more recent. When AI first came out, it was horrible at creative. It was making funny fingers. Everyone saw like 6 fingers or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But now it's getting really, really good. Especially our favorite tool is Nano Banana. Again, I promise tools, I'm not holding anything back. Nano Banana has been amazing for us. It's better than ChatGPT so far. So videos, you can use Sora, has been kind of there and there. It's still not there yet, but it's getting very close actually. Google VO isn't bad. But for images, we're getting ideas for images. You still need a graphic designer to kind of obviously tailor it up, make it a little bit better. But we're able to A/B test concepts very quickly on apps like Picfu and Televi. Again, I'm not getting anything even for copywriting. Data Dive Helium 10 is incorporating some of that stuff. We're not affiliated with anything. There's just some that we've seen where they're kind of been trying to be on top of it and incorporate some of the stuff. And we're using all these tools, like the Amazon specific tools with the ChatGPT ones, in tandem to come up with the best result. But creative has definitely been a big one, especially when you're thinking of like promotional events. And again, making videos, it's getting there really closer. Amazon released one actually in their advertising portal, but Sora is actually still a little bit better than it, but releasing quick promotional videos. So for example, Father's Day is coming up. You have a brand, we have brands with thousands of SKUs. But it's very Father's Day related. Shooting a video and photography, etc., would cost tens of thousands of dollars, and getting a professional studio. But now you're pumping them out on AI. It's a short event. You test out 10, 20, you make them as realistic as possible, and you're putting them up for a short period of time, and you're able to specify it for that specific product across many. And there's so many promotional events, whether it's Easter's Day, obviously now with Christmas, for hero SKUs and stuff that's doing, like ASINs that are doing over $1 million in revenue. Yeah, obviously you have the budget, and we're doing photo shoots for that and more creative stuff. But for less ASINs that are not as monumental, you still want something that's gonna grow revenue by 20-30% and use it for sponsored video, that's where you can use AI just to pump out something for that. Again, it depends on your budget for that ASIN, what revenue does and justifying it. It's still not all the way there, but every day it's getting closer. I think I just seen Nano Banana Pro. Oh my God, it's crazy. And we're making sure that we have a team just checking the latest AI, but that's just an example. Using AI for development. And this is two parts. A small part of development actually is SQL code. So we have a data warehouse. We're having SQL. The person learned how to do SQL and write functions and codes and develop stuff to give us certain views and BI tables to see certain data using our data warehouse. And we've been able to do this really recently with AI. Another example is like on a lower level, although it's not technically development, but Excel functions and formulas and codes to read data, and analyze data, to put in data into Amazon, to give it your thoughts on it. All that is part where you can develop like Excel codes, like you tell ChatGPT, I want to do XYZ, or even Claude has been really good at like this area. This is where I mentioned, and it can spit out something for you that's very, very specific and really helpful formula that it would take you maybe hours to figure out on YouTube and whatever, and you could just kind of voice it out there. The other area, actually this is starting to be more and more relevant, is building out mini tools. So Replit is one example we've used to build certain tools to scrape something, obviously making sure we're TOS compliant, all that kind of stuff, but to get ideas for stuff, or to input an asset and get something out, right? We're still coming up with the use cases. We're using it for our brands, but it's been really cool using this. The fourth area is review analysis and sentiment. And this is where we have products with 10 to 20,000 reviews. We can't sift through obviously every single one, but we do download those reviews, and we make sure we put them into AI tools, and we have them give us sentiments, primary pros, primary cons. Amazon actually started doing this themselves in the review area. They kind of have plus, and then minus for bad areas, like whatever it is. So you can get a little bit of highest surface level view, but more custom from that is we get a very in-depth review from the custom reviews. We obviously weight it towards the more recent reviews to get latest customer expectations. And then we're sending that out to our partners. We're telling them what we need to change in the copy to make sure it aligns with customer expectations. But more importantly to factors like, listen, we're getting these primary complaints. We're going to send an auditor next time to check these. You better make sure they're good. One example was we work with an ice pack brand, right? And a lot of people would take this to, and that's why understanding this review analysis, we were able to get this from the review. They take it to their kids' sports games and it would melt within an hour, right? But they actually just needed a little bit longer, 2 hours. So we talked to the factory like, listen, we're going to do a test next time. We paid a little bit more, like 20 cents, but a lot of reviews are coming bad from that. And we were able to move the ratings from that from 4.2 to 4.4 stars. And that's huge because now it shows at 4.5 stars. So just understanding that from the customers and reading that in bulk and getting the overall sentiment analysis and reviews has been huge and extremely scalable for us. Where AI has been somewhat helpful. The first one is customer avatar creation, or ICP, ideal customer profile. So again, I want to preface this where it's getting closer, but we have seen at ChatGPT and other AI tools completely miss the mark on who our customer are. And we had a brand come to us like, this is our customer, they insist. But then when our teams are looking at the reviews or looking at the listings and looking at competition and market analysis, they're seeing something else. So we finally asked them, where'd you get it from? Like, look, AI is telling us this. It's like, or one of the AI Amazon tools without mentioning any names. But Amazon needs a lot more context, or sorry, the AI tools, they need a lot more context to give you a really in-depth analysis. The more you load it, the better. But sometimes you just go and look at a listing and you just paste a URL. It's gonna give you something that's usually off the mark. So you have to be very careful. It's gonna also give you a lot of options. Ideally, your ICP, you want it to be as specific as possible. Ideally, you have one specific person. Now, if you're a big brand or big product that sells millions of dollars, it could have 3 or 4 or 5 people. Like for example, the iPhone has 25 million ICPs, right? But usually most of the products are built for an ICP, especially entering into the market, and they expand into 3 or 4. But getting specific on that, understanding your customers' needs, wants, pains, desires, it can help you with that in the second layer, but you have to load it with a lot of context. You have to guide it to do it, as we kind of say. So AI guided, it's not as useful as the first scenario. The second area is data analysis. I'll give a quick example to make this clear. So we had a PPC report, we downloaded it, we wanted to run an audit on how efficiently PPC was running. And we uploaded this into it, our marketing analyst uploaded this into it just to kind of get insights and second layer, just second thoughts on some things. And it overall gave some good points, like try to leverage more percentage of spend into a different type of ad category, all that kind of stuff that we did give some consideration to. But one of the things that was very persistent on was that you're wasting a lot of money on this keyword. So I'll tell you what this keyword was. So basically it was a supplement item where it was used for a pre-workout, but also we found that there's a huge gap in the productivity space. So we were targeting work-specific keywords, and we saw a huge potential in these. But initially, we obviously weren't getting traction. We're entering the market. It was still the first few weeks, but it kept repeating that you're wasting money here. You have to move it. You have to move it. And we didn't obviously take that advice. We have to kind of give it we overrode its analysis and insight. And lo and behold, within a few weeks, we were selling $10,000 to $20,000 per week on those certain keywords. And now it's just continuously growing. So it's sometimes surface level. You have to give it a second analysis. Same for uploading a P&L. So it says supply chain. It's gonna give you overall analysis, but overall, it's still surface level. And the third area is actually related to this. It's inventory forecasting. So again, overall can give you general guidelines, but come into seasonality or come into a new entrant that doesn't have a new entry, new launch, that doesn't have a lot of data, it's going to guide you in the wrong way. So that's another area where we've seen it fall short. If you're finding this helpful, leave a like, raise my morale. For the fourth one, it's UGC creators. So we just haven't seen them resonate yet as well as the regular creators. However, we've had some areas where they've succeeded. So user-generated content basically is UGC, and using AI creators to use them. A lot of platforms are somewhat liking it, somewhat not liking it. They're letting it, so for example, like YouTube, right? They're letting it stay if it's value add. If it's just repetitive AI slop, as they call it, you have to be careful. You have to oversee what's being produced. Is it hurting your brand's reputation, etc.? So just overlooking that, making sure it looks legit. We've still had better luck with real influencers and creators, but just something to kind of oversee. Where AI lost us money and time. The first one is AI PPC, fully AI PPC tools, right? There's AI inspired, but some of them claim to be, and we've tried to use our smaller brands and integrate them and demo it. We just gave them months at a time. We were kind of wanted to buy into the hype and wanted to just try it. Thankfully, we obviously demoed it on a smaller subset, but we just have seen actually sales go down and be patient and next month, and we just had to cut. We didn't want to run into some cost fallacy. Another one was one-click AI listing optimization. You put your ASIN in, it kind of pumps out a whole entire ASINs, images, the whole stack of improved AI, premium A+ content. We just seen poor quality produced from that as well. Just trying it, investing money, trying it again. So we're gonna let it simmer. They did get better time over time, but again, a theme of these is that it's numerous aspects together, right? When you give AI one thing, like, okay, do the bullet points for me, it's good, but we can combine bullet points with customer avatar, and then you want it to recruit, and that's where the theme of like, you can have AI run your entire business, that's entirely BS. There's obviously, you can use AI to increase productivity, to make the tools better, but it still has to have a very, how to say, creative, smart operator that can leverage these tools and combine them together and facilitate the usage of numerous tools to come together, rather than just kind of dumping the whole thing and relying on AI to produce something crazy. It's still not there yet. It could be maybe 3-4 years down the line, who knows, but it still feels like it's way away. And the forgotten tool I wanted to mention, and with the AI craze, everyone has forgotten about automation. So this is tools like Zapier, NAN, Make, there's so many, but especially combining AI with automation to, like, for example, we're A/B testing with automation to AI videos, right? AI images, and see which one every quarter we run an automation. And there's many areas where we're using automations to send messages, to send all this kind of stuff. Make sure to revisit your processes. What can AI do, right? Like we said, images, have AI maybe especially for different ASINs, produce the first version of the image. But then also, where can automation be involved in your process? And where can it improve it?